Jason says, first time watcher. Wow, this stream is so very different from how the slop tubers present it. That is an interesting point of view. That's a rare opinion to have, because typically people who are watching slop tubers don't have all their faculties. A lot of drool leaks out of their mouths when they try to speak. So congratulations for bucking the trend.
I don't consider myself to be creatively inclined, but I do consider myself to be pretty judgmental, and I think I'm going to come up with a new phrase, a new term. I hear slop tuber this, slop tuber that. How about slop streamer? I'm going to come out and make a rather bold claim here, and I do want to preface this with the fact that I don't like just insulting people or pointing and laughing at somebody without having a reason to do so. I think you should be able to articulate on your own and explain why you say it and do what you do for the most part. Otherwise, it's kind of illogical. That's just how I see it. That's what I learned in 7th grade English when they were breaking down to you how to create an argument for something, citations, etc., why you are saying what you're saying. My claim being that you should hit the subscribe button because we like to have fun here, number one, and number two is that I can actually articulate what my definition of a slap streamer would be, whereas Idubbbz doesn't want to articulate or define anything.
It's so easy to pull shit to be like, this is cringe. Actually, you're gay here. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think it makes them feel like they have some sort of control. It's like, hey, like, I recognize that streaming is not the easiest thing to do, and therefore I'm doing the smart thing by not doing it. Checkmate. And if I did stream, I'm not going to show my face. Checkmate.
Yeah, well, considering someone attempted to dox me because I made fun of their favorite kick streamer, I think I'm good. If you've been around on the channel long enough, you kind of know where this is going. This is one of my least favorite arguments because it's really, like, lazy. I think, in my opinion, no, it's one of those things where it's just kind of like you're grouping people up together and putting a label on them. And then Idubbbz does take it a step further, which I don't see a lot, but he's just, you know, putting words in their mouth, which I think doesn't really tackle the real issues, does it? And we've seen this sort of language, and I do like to attribute this language to the idea of that description I was providing you of what a slop streamer does. Of course, the slop streamers have different things they got going on. I'll go ahead and, you know, throw a couple things out. Reactionary streamers. There's people on like fucking TikTok or Instagram who just sit in the bottom right of their corner or streaming literally just looking at the fucking camera dead in your face like you're supposed to do something about what's on the screen. Don't even get me started on people who hop on trends just to go ahead and get into an algorithm or get recognized to gain popularity. The amount of burnt peanut shit knockoffs that I've seen are countless. It's absurd. Look at this. Look what's on screen right now and tell me this isn't, because these people are all doing the same format, the same layout, the general gist of it being either a food item or a household item that you would see as a face filter from Snapchat. Hot tub streamers, titty streamers. Get the bag, I don't give a shit, but these are going to be communities that stereotypically get associated with these labels, and I think for the majority of these communities, unfortunately, they do fall under this. Now, it would be inaccurate to state that every single content creator in these communities are following suit just to follow suit. You know, there are some who go ahead and bring variance and uniqueness to this, and value of that is up to the consumer. That's just generally how I outline this. Someone who doesn't really provide a whole lot of variance or explanation as to why they're doing what they do. And of course, people who want to just start shit, insult people, don't want to elaborate, you know, they start drama under the guise of current events or politics as well, and just more or less say things, even if there is evidence in front of them. Looking at Idubbbz again. You know, if you want to get the bag, you get the bag, but you reach a certain point in which you embarrass yourself when you have things blatantly on screen or things literally fact of the matter and you just ignore it anyway. I guess to segue into how Idubbbz fits into this last part of this description being that after making fun of an Iranian man on a react stream to 90 Day Fiancé, offering, in my opinion, very little content or very little value to the actual content itself, just kind of making fun of the man and having a culture shock, his wife responded on Instagram calling Idubbbz and his wife out directly, having their stream on screen, and then Idubbbz completely just was like, it's not actually about me, guys. It was just about people being weird and excessive. That's your stream.
Do you know the wife of the Iranian man responded to you and Anissa? She didn't respond to me and Anissa specifically. She was putting out a statement to people who were being rude or judgmental to her and her husband. Yeah.
Which I don't apologize for.
No.
Of course, that's not all, and I gotta give props to H3H3 to being dedicated to the hate on this man, just because I wouldn't have been able to find this highlight. I remember seeing it on Instagram a while back, But if it wasn't for this man being so committed to the beef that they had going on for, in my opinion, far, far too long for two grown adults to be having, getting back to the mold that Idubbbz so coincidentally just perfectly fits into, it seems to be a repeated pattern and a repeated history that he has of dealing with the criticism from a chatter, the chatter being a third party to the actual stream itself, because he's the stream host. He's talking to a microphone. He's always active in the conversation. He, of course, also controls what comes up on screen, what gets discussed, because he is the stream host. He is the stream. So chatters are secondary to that, and anything else being a third party to the stream itself don't exactly have a way to defend themselves, and it seems to be a recurring thing where if he receives a criticism or someone brings up criticism itself, he just kind of redirects it onto someone else, it being someone else's problem.
She has a wall.
Scarlet Punk says, reacting to a show is the laziest form of content. All right, Scarlet Punk, what would you like me to do? What would make you excited?
I feel like it's
Okay, and his response was, or their response was, not reacting. Oh, very detailed. You're a fucking brick wall, dude.
what's going on with Matt.
I thought I was the viewer. You're the content creator. Yeah, but you're the one who thought that you were like given, like that it was your role to give me some sort of like commentary. If you're truly the viewer, then you should zip it.
Not how it works on a public platform, you fucking dickhead. Woe is me, I'm getting feedback in my comment section or my live stream chat, which is kind of the purpose of the live stream chat, to interact with your viewers. What the fuck are we talking about? Creating videos to live streaming, and now people are complaining about the type of live stream content I do. I wonder what people might be missing. To be fair to you, Idubbbz, I understand you don't like your old content, so why not evolve your old content into something more aligned with your ideas? I don't know, just evolve on that and still be creative and interactive with your community in a way that's just not being like, well, what do you want me to do? Because Idubbbz used to make shitloads of videos all of the time with all these skits and editing. Granted, the language you used was a little bit taboo. You know, you don't like that. You don't like the kind of things you talked about. So talk about and do different things with those formats. Nah, gee, I'm gonna be a fucking VTuber dragon.
You should listen to your producer, you fool. Maybe it has more to do with the fact that you're an arrogant asshole who's constantly harassing people. Maybe people don't want to be associated with an arrogant asshole.
Say what you want about Idubbbz. This isn't the first time he's brought up this character, and it's not going to be the last. He's talked about it once or twice before putting it actually into the stream and incorporating it. Becoming a VTuber isn't a huge announcement for him, but he's brought it up once or twice minorly. I want this clip to be a reminder that this is how he's introducing you to Ethan in the stream. This is the beginning half of the stream. This is the introductory. He's very clearly, at least from my perspective of a third person looking in, he's very clearly detailing how he feels about Ethan as a person, not including the fact that he made a whole content cop about him. To follow things up, literally like 10-20 minutes later, just because there's so much dead air, he puts this comment up from Destiny stating these horrible things you can see on screen, and none of this is backed up. Idubbbz does say that it's super fucked up and that he doesn't agree with it directly. He's not stating that it's the truth, and then goes, you know, I don't want anyone stealing my content, so I think I better make it my watermark. And I think somebody might want to address this, you know.
Agree with what's being said in this comment here. But I'm putting it on screen because I think it should be addressed, because it's a big, bold accusation that's very fucked up.
Why in the fuck is it on this screen to begin with? If we're going to go ahead and take into account the fact that you were very obviously stating how you were very staunchly against Ethan as a person, you think he's an asshole, an arrogant asshole, to quote you directly, why the fuck would you then follow it up moments later by putting up a quote from Destiny's own comment that is obviously not in any positive light to Ethan, and then go, well, I just don't agree with it. I think it should be addressed, though. I just don't agree with it, you know? I just don't think it has anything to stand on. By this fucking genius logic, if I go on Twitter right now and I go, Ethan smells like fucking Doritos, I think this should be addressed. I think he might be bathing in nothing but Doritos, and he might be bathing his children in nothing but Doritos. If I go, Ian robs banks, on Twitter right now. If I hop in Ethan's chat, I go, Ian robs banks. That's how he gets his money. That's how he's able to have a stable income. Two things would have to be the case for it to be something credible and is something that you might want to pay attention to. It coming from a credible source and a credible elaboration with some sort of physical or documented evidence.
Just says, so Destiny is a reliable source of info now, or is it only people we don't like? We? Who's we? You? I don't know who you are.
Okay, so that's at the window.
But I will say, shit like this should be addressed, especially from the guy who's suing 3 women right now, or now it's down to 2, and extorted. Well, not extorted. What's the proper word? What's the technical word? The third's out. The third's out. Caseytron. Settled and bullied. I like that. Yeah, that's the technical.
And we're right back to establishing a baseline that you think Ethan is a bully and et cetera, et cetera. So that goes to beg the question, is it people we don't like or not? What are we missing?
The imp would like to say that the person who is asking the question about Destiny and whether or not we're now using him as a valid source, I know what you smell and look like, and your mother hates you. Die, but in a video game, of course.
You know, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and immediately just bash it over the head with this sledgehammer, metaphorically speaking, considering we go ahead and get this joke of like, die, but in a video game, of course. You know, that could be something they say pretty often. I don't exactly tune into Idubbbz' content very often. You know, I watched this stream just to get the clips that I wanted out of it without people's watermarks, and I wanted to see the full context. And this is exactly what I got out of it. This question is no longer touched upon, and then we get to the next portion. After your intelligence has already been insulted and you've been belittled or made fun of, I don't know if it was supposed to be in a joking way, but given that how this isn't followed up with, we're just messing around, we're just having a good time. Anyway, we'll talk about this more. We just move on to whatever the fuck this is.
Geborgis, I will say, I don't like, this might be one of the few times that you tune into the stream because it feels like, ooh, drama. But you need to like, think about that, right? Like, you said just join and Ian's already complaining about Ethan Lamau. Like, dude, I stream 5 days a week. I never talk about that fucking loser.
So once again, we've flip-flopped. Back to the question, is it someone you like or not? Do we dislike him? Because I can't help but get the feeling, can't help but feel that you might not like him, considering you just called him a loser. Refusal to elaborate, engaging pretty negatively with your community, not really innovating on things, and when you receive criticism on that, pushing back directly against your community and telling them to zip it, bringing up and platforming ideas that don't really make any sense in the context of what you're saying, directly opposing them, and then of course creating an oxymoron out of your own sentences. I kind of feel like you're fitting my description. I feel like I'm going to make a longer form video of this on not just Idubbbz but other people that fit this description as well later down the road. If you want to see that, I'd highly recommend subscribing, like if you'd like it, dislike it. If you have any feedback at all, any way, shape, or form, or anything that you'd like me to see discussed, please let me know in the comments. Feedback is greatly appreciated. Take it easy.